Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Financial Trading Basics. Just wanted to give you an update. Today is Friday, September 26th at 5:07 p.m. The market's closed just over an hour ago. I don't know. I think Monday will still probably technically September, but I'm doing this as my end of September trading recap. Haven't done much. Again, I make new videos whenever I do something substantial. But we just refreshed her looking at our American Eagle trade. Again, we have 300 shares short at an average price of $19.64. We are currently up, it says $268.75. But that's carrying over. Like I said, all of your accounting should be done on realized and as opposed to unrealized gains or losses. So this is carrying over, right? I made a video about losing 300 trying to time this entry on its initial appreciation right here. I got stopped out after this fourth day right here. So this is open position showing up about $568. And so again, all of the accounting is done on realized losses and gains and losses, not unrealized. So I want to pull up my account statement right here. And this is my first time looking at Schwab. I always use Thinkorswim as opposed to this type of login. But I do all of my trading on Thinkorswim. But our trades this month, again, we had this. I kind of like this little setup here, but we had the minus 200 here. That was just on my birthday for a fun one. Just some minor scalp trades. The American Eagle, Gemmy. I bought that a couple days after the IPO just to have something. That is the Winklevosses, I think, just kind of financial services conglomerate from the Mark Zuckerberg time. I guess let's see if Zuckerberg boink steals this one too. But that's just kind of a fun position. Again, my overall market look is I'm waiting kind of for a retracement or pullback to do some more long investing. I like day trades or short-term, medium, if you want to call them swing trades, but there's just entries and exits. I like shorting as opposed to going long. But for standard investments, I am bullish on the market simply because the population is going to increase. We've already talked about that. And so to the realization, again, the Gemmy was just for fun, or not for funsies, but it's a very small position. American Eagle, just some small wins, trying to enter. Riot, some small wins. But it is showing, my point being is biggest losses. I traded this QURE. I did want to talk about this one. So this was another one where American Eagle is kind of like a structured company. I talk about four dudes in a garage with a publicly traded company. But this one, you have this massive increase. It is a pharmaceutical company, and these are a lot of ones where they'll be extremely dormant. And if you look, you see here's the volume. I did not have my volume indicators on my previous videos, but I do have a volume chart, obviously. But you can see the blue underlie in the background as well. But volume doesn't really mean that much to me. If it's weak, it's typically going to fade away, even if it's in an uptrend or a downtrend. If it's heavy volume, it's typically going to trade in the trend that it's going. But you see this thing, it trades sideways for a very long time, very little volume, then it pops up. And see, these are the ones where it's like I watched it come up here. I tried shorting it yesterday, very small, and made up 10, 20 bucks, whatever. Do the same thing today, made 16 bucks. But point being is this is a stock where it was surprisingly easy to borrow because a lot of these ones, the brokerages won't have shares to short available. As of now, we're sticking to easy to borrow, so we don't have to deal with any sort of loan fees or margin fees for having a short position on margin. But you can see this is a crapshoot for me. This is one where I enter small and I have an extremely tight stop loss because I think I entered with like 10 shares. And so again, for a $50 risk, that's $5 per share. And so on an appreciation of, we're going from 13 to opening into 40. So you're looking at a little 250-ish%. So when it's these ones where it's a pharmaceutical buyout or, we're going to cure this disease tomorrow. If this were to open up at, after this appreciation trading into the 60s pre-market 2 sessions ago before Thursday's session, it would surprise me 0% if this were to open up at $25 or at $250. And so I would only trade these intraday. This is nothing I would hold for an extent over after the market's closed with my current account strategy set up. But these ones where I would hold naked shorts because it's like it's going to come down at some point. Is it today, tomorrow? And it still doesn't have to, but it just everyone thinks their company's going to be the best. Everyone's talking their stuff up in the market. It's not illegal. It's not bad, but most of it doesn't come to fruition. So more often than not, but again, you have to have a big account size and big cash flow. And like I said, and when I'm trading without, like I'm not trying to go buy a house or do this or do that. So like I'm just trying to execute good trades. And so this was just the volatility, fun to play, but super small positions, super tight stop losses, and certainly would not hold it naked overnight. So I did that. Again, you saw the plus or minus 10, 15, 20 bucks a couple times over here. And this QUE, yes, I lost 74 on one after buying it, and I made 14, so I lost, I don't know, 50 bucks, 60 bucks. And then I shorted LPTH today. This was another one that has just popped up and I've been following, because I like to see the ones that have these big appreciations, and then I follow them for the next 3-4 days, and then just try to enter a short if I think so. And again, still waiting for this market correction. There may or may not be one, who knows. But if the market turns, all of these stocks are going to tend to turn down. That's why I'm shorting now, as opposed to looking for long stocks, which I'll cover in a different video once I'm starting to build those positions. But I shorted this one today. I did it a couple times. I'll do a video on scalping where I'll do the trades. I'll make the video as I'm trading. Again, probably not live streaming, but just recording the video as I'm doing it. But ended up losing $60 to $6 here today. And I think the one on QURE was where I made 16. So I lost $50 today, but overall the profit loss is showing minus $286.87. And these disallowed losses are positions where if I was up something or if I was down somewhere, like I was down, let's say I was down 10 grand on a stock, or let's just use, because I have MNMD, I'm down about 6,000 on there. So if I were to, for example, it's not like taxation seasons right now, but if I were to sell my position to realize that loss and then immediately buy it back, it's called a wash sale, because you don't lose your position, but your accounting shows you lost the money, so you can write it off for taxes. And so when it says disallowed wash sale, it's saying you're not allowed to write that off. But I still have this MNMD, which is a sector that is legitimate science and has the big factor of the pharmaceutical companies. So that whole sector is going to be tremendous. Industrials, like I like Caterpillar and John Deere, even like the home, like Lowe's, those type of stores, something I would go long for like 3, 5, 6 years. Again, not right now today, but looking to in the future. For big appreciations, the quote-unquote natural medicines or alternative medicines, again, the pharmaceutical companies can have a big reckoning once people really accept science for what it is. So that's when that can happen, who knows. But that's a sector I'm super bullish on in the long term. When is it going to come to fruition? I don't know. Is it going to be this company? I don't know. Do I like them the best in the space at current time? Yes. But these are shares that I bought, again, years ago. So sitting down about 5,000. But that's what a wash sale would be, is if you buy it or sell to realize a loss and then buy it back pretty much immediately, or an equivalent security. And so, again, these are the realized. We're still showing up, or we're sitting up about, it's currently showing about, I think, 200, 250, or 268 on the American Eagle. And this Thinkorswim is different. Even some has a discrepancy between here and the actual Schwab. And so the Schwab is showing the realized, and this one is showing kind of like a combination of both. So this is sitting up about $600, but I don't count that, because if this trade reverses and tomorrow it opens up, or Monday it opens up, whatever, 18, 19 bucks, that I haven't realized those gains. It's not a profit, and so it's always on the realization. But this trade is looking super strong. Again, I wanted to add, but I'm not going to add after these 4 days or 5 days closing down. We have this small consolidation period right here, pretty much for this sideways this week if my computer wants to work. And so on a pop up top into these 1850 to the 19 range, I would add probably double my size. Again, back weighted by these 300 shares, keep my risk right around 1950. Because if it were to go up, and even if it were to touch or close above 20 again, I would assume it will not fill the gap. So that's my positioning. That's what I did this week. Overall for the month, minus the 268. But again, with a super comfortable risk tolerance of $100 a week, $400 a month, or $200 a week, if I wanted to push it. But again, well within my risk tolerance. So it's just, to me, that's just a bill. So you just don't get emotional. It doesn't matter. And for me personally, like I said, I'm just trying to execute good trades. So it's not like I'm risking or I'm not taking big positions. So just trying to do some education, keep things moving. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.